There's an Igbo problem in Nigeria. That's why they're holding Nnamdi Kanu.
What's your take on
for asking
Nnamdi Kanu's
for
perpetual
Biafra.
detention?
And then we are rehabilitating Boko Haram commanders. You said 120,000 of them have surrendered with foreign currency in their hand. And you have rehabilitated them. But one guy who says, oh, we want justice, we don't want to stay in Nigeria, you are holding him perpetually.
Why resurrecting the charges against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu when your own court of law has discharged and acquitted Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and for barely 5 years could not establish any evidence against him? It is quite ridiculous and very unfortunate that this is happening, making Nigerian government and its judiciary a mockery to the Committee of Nations. Why is Nigerian government afraid of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's release? This is purely political persecution and nothing short of that. The world is watching as people are not blind. Of course, international communities, local and international personalities are watching what is playing out, that this is purely persecution, a subjugation and oppression of a man who stood for the truths and defense of the truths and the fundamental right of his people. Self-determination is not a crime. It's an inalienable right given to God, to men, and of course, men have the right to political affiliations and choice to who you want to relate with. It is quite unfortunate. What transpired in the court today is quite very disturbing and funny indeed. When the court proceedings was set and the prosecutors were expecting to present their case, but unfortunately have no evidence. Now, if you have no evidence of indictment against a man you have accused, what does that mean? Such case, without any further delay, should be squashed. That is just the process. But I don't know why. Perhaps by tomorrow, possibly Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will walk out of that court a free man he is. Definitely, it is not just a projection, but that is the reality. The Nigerian government cannot establish any case against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, no evidence. With all the blah 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 and the, of course, jamboree and the playing out hide and seek game for barely 5 years now, could not establish a case against a man, no evidence. As they claim that is a video shoot or whatever. It's a very disappointing case. What does that mean? The Nigerian government definitely is afraid of the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They knew they have committed such blunder by his extraordinary rendition. Of course, they clearly know that they fumbled by falling into that trap. They thought that holding him back in solitary confinement could break him down psychologically, emotionally, otherwise. But that has made him more stronger, resolved, and committed. Just as he maintained, we have crossed the Rubicon. It's a point of no return. Regardless of, it doesn't matter your threat. We have 4 cardinal points, among which is, don't be afraid in the face of your enemies. He had demonstrated this repeatedly. Stand to speak the truth always. And which he has maintained that with the instrumentality of truth, I will destroy Nigeria. I will destroy the illegality, the injustice, the subjugation of my own people that have taken or canvassed over decades since independence or pre-independence days. This is a reality that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is walking out of the court and DSS dungeon a free man. If the government could not establish any case, what are they telling the world? This is mere political oppression and subjugation. And of course, this could attract international sanctions against Nigeria and those officials of Nigerian government involved, like the previous or former Attorney General of the Federation, Malami, Buhari, and the rest of them, and this current administration could face international criminal court because I believe strongly that Nnamdi Kanu and his legal team are compiling, making a very robust arrangement for international courts, litigations against those for abuse of his fundamental right. Perhaps this could be one of the fears why they want to continue to keep him endlessly, perpetually under subjugation, under solitary confinement, thinking that could break him. But unfortunately, that has made the movement for the indigenous people of Biafra's restoration more stronger, more formidable, more resolute than ever before. This was one of the greatest regrets of the people who renditioned or kidnapped Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. If they had known, according to the video, they would have killed him or poisoned him. It is quite unfortunate. Now, why keep holding him back? A man set aside, discharged and acquitted by your own court of law. It is quite suicidal. The continued detention of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu could no longer be acceptable. Anyone, responsible personalities must speak out. It is no other time than now. We must voice out in collective fight against injustice. Of course, not just because of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is involved or indigenous people of Biafra. It is an injustice against humanity, and such could not be condoned or tolerated because what goes around comes around. But for the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, the Nigerian government literally, legally, logically has lost the case against Nnamdi Kanu. So his continued trial could no longer continue or hold because I believe the justice James Omotosho has promised and vowed to stand by the truth. And with what played out today, Justice Omotosho asked the prosecutors, is that all you could provide? Is there any other evidence? They responded, of course, no. That is quite unfortunate. Indeed, the case has ended from my own perspective and based on legal grounds. If you cannot establish a case, you said you have a video shoot or whatever footage against of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, perhaps committing treason or terrorism. You could not provide such. What does that mean? You could be charged of defamation and the rest of them. What I don't think Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is interested in that, but he's interested in working out a free man, not just working out, but the Biafran people who have been held hostage, incarcerated for barely several decades now, is set to work out victory, holding the banner of liberty, which is the emblem of the Biafran Republic, which Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remains the pillar of this movement in this current dispensation of Biafran struggle. Yes, that is what have kept them jittering, afraid of what will become of them should Mazi Nnamdi Kanu comes out. He has a voice louder than their fears, than their apprehensions, and than their collective conspiracy to continue subjugation of the people. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu remains a force to reckon with, and international communities are not keeping silence. The United Nations group responsible for violation and protection of people's fundamental rights has written to the Nigerian government, release this man. And the flouted such, of course, is a build-up charges piling up against the Nigerian government for gross violations of fundamental rights of the people. Now that they could no longer establish any case against Mazi Nnamdi, no evidence. What does that mean? It is a finished case. And of course, Nigeria government, we have no other option to keep Mazi Nnamdi for the second time after ruling the case. I believe Justice Omotosho James will be there to do the justice. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is walking out of the court tomorrow, a free man, not just freed, but that will set a pace to African revolution, legal revolution, and the cause and quest for justice. Of course, he has enjoyed so many solidarity and popularity because of standing for the cause of truth, despite his subjugations, oppressions, and isolations. He has proved that truth is more powerful, is an instrument of war, is more stronger than any combined ammunition under the earth. He has won indeed, because no one could point any accusing finger or having evidence against him. Everybody must share this video. Let it get to everyone to know the latest development and happening. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is walking out free if the Nigerian government could not provide evidence against him. Today being the 21st of May, the case is over for the Nigerian government. Congratulations for your doggedness, for your resilience, and for your resolve for the liberty, the cause of justice, not just for your people, but for the entire human race and African continent. Congratulations, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, for standing for justice and for equity and fairness. Share this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Comment and let's have your own perspective regarding this development. Thanks for watching.